Hello everyone, and come on in and get to work with me out here on my mini farm as I mix up a winter blend chicken feed. Alrighty, so this morning I was having breakfast. I was having breakfast at my mother's house, and she had eggs, but they were not my chickie lady's eggs. And after eating my chickie lady's eggs consistently for the past few weeks, I was able to tell a stark difference in the store-bought eggs, honey. The taste is not the same at all. I can't go back to those ways. So I was inspired to go ahead and help you all out and share the tricks of the trade that I have learned as I have been organic gardening as well as farming. But I wanted to share these tricks with you. So as you can see, I have everything just about laid out for the winter chicken feed blend. So I live in Chicago. For those of you who live in the Midwest or up north, any place that gets cold and you have chickens, you do have to change their diet so they can help stay warm. By all means, I definitely advise that you still get a coop heater, that you get something that helps block the wind off from the chickens, but make sure it's still see-through so they can see, as well as get a water heater for them. All right, but nonetheless, we're talking about food here today. So all these things that you see before you are all things that I mix in with my chicken feed. So shout out to Tractor Supply because quite a few of these materials come from there. I use the 100% organic layer crumble because they are now officially laying. So excited about that, and they're laying delicious eggs too, because keep in mind, what you feed your chicks directly affects the taste of your eggs. All right, so this is their chicken feed. I've already poured some out so I don't have to, work in that big one. We have different mealworms, and of course we use the 100% organic mealworm. We have cracked corn. Now here's something for you all to know. I learned this from University of Illinois while I was incubating chicks first before I decided to fully raise them. Grits and oatmeal. Chickens love them, but it also helps them, especially in the wintertime, to stay warm. So essentially, we're going to mix all these things together, and I can say for the most part, my chickens do lay pretty consistently. I do have what I like to call diva chicks. So the only times that they don't lay is when they've been bad and I take away a toy or something like that. So then of course they have to, show me oh, well, I'm not gonna lay an egg. Now for a delicious treat, and you can go on Amazon and you can get a hanger. My hanger got caught in the table. You can get you a little hanger. I like to give them fresh fruits and vegetables. The vegetables, oh my goodness, as soon as the chickens saw me holding this up, they started running this way. So this is romaine lettuce from my garden, and then I have found out that they love them some apples. So for my chicks particularly, they love them some Michigan red delicious apples as well as Michigan Fuji apples. I'm not sure if all apples are created the same in terms of the chickies' taste buds and whatnot, but I know so far these have been the two types of apples that I got them, and they've been going crazy for them. Now, if you are at a place where you are not growing your own vegetables, that's perfectly fine. You can go to the grocery store. My mom likes to, give me extra cabbage sometimes. So if she sees a small head of cabbage at the grocery store, she'll buy it and then say, hey, come pick up this cabbage. But if you can, go ahead and grow lettuce, collard greens, mustard greens. These are all things that can survive in the winter. That's what I have behind me. And I allow the chickens, I have certain areas where I've created for them to go ahead and forage. They know those are their crops. The only problem with that, I will admit, is that when they eat up all their stuff, they think it's okay to come eat my stuff, and that's not the case. Now, I have heard and read that some chickens like bread. Mine do not, but nonetheless, there may be some chickens that will like some bread. So let's go ahead and start mixing up this food. So you're going to take your regular feed, and what I like to do is, because it's cold outside today, it's sunny, it's a little nice, so I just go ahead and I mix up multiple containers, so you can literally go to the dollar store, pick up a container like this. I got this container from Walmart, which is perfect because I can like just take this off and feed put it in their hanging feeder. If you have old coffee cans, but make sure you rinse them out and wash them out really good, because coffee is not good for your chickie ladies. But yeah, get creative, do what you got to do. But once again, if you're working in cold temperatures like me, or even how it has been in Chicago these past few days, it's been raining, go ahead and, you know, make up as much food as possible. So all you got to do is, you know, open, pour, and you done. All right, so you're gonna mix up, and there's no exact, I know my mother's gonna laugh at this because I get on her all the time when I'm like, teach me how to like cook like you, and she just be like, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But I'm literally about to tell y'all a little bit of feed, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But shh, don't tell my mama. All right, so this is the corn and mealworm mix. So basically they have corn kernels that the chickie ladies can eat, as well as mealworms. I mix that in there. Mealworms is a great source of protein for the chickie ladies, and it's a great treat. But I just go ahead and I include it into their regular diet. I still, you know, might give them a little, you know, some as a treat. Now this is the oat and mealworm, and after you start putting, you know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that in there, make sure you're mixing it up. So then that way, like, you will see, but my chickens have decided to give up on that, because at first what they would do when I first started mixing it all in together, if you don't mix it good, yes, they will just try to go through and pick out the mealworms and stuff like that. Like, no, you got to get them a good old mix, okay? So this is why this is actually a pet food scooper from the dollar store, so it's more so like for dogs and stuff. But yeah, as y'all can see, I got a lot going on that I, you know, give my chicken ladies. We got this cracked corn here. I actually got this cracked corn from Menards in the bird food area. Now, and the joke that I like to make is that I always say that my chickens are homegrown fed, because yes, when I start mixing in the grits and stuff, I just literally mix it in until I hear the ancestors say, enough, my child. So it's almost like how some people do with the stuff. That's what I do with the grits and oatmeal, because we know, well, at least I know as a child, boy, grits and bacon in the morning is what saw me through, okay? My mama had me, and I would like, I remember first she started me with the bacon bits, and then when she would just fry whole strips of bacon, I would like still tear them up. But like, I remember it used to make your belly feel so warm, and we want our chickens to have warm bellies, for them to be fed well. You know, just make sure that you're still, so like the corn, even the apples and all the additional fresh lettuce and stuff we give them, it is all about not only just providing stuff that's going to help them stay warm, but you also want to give them good nutrition, okay? So these are the oats for the oatmeal. All right, and now we're going to mix it all up. How you know that you've done a great job in mixing is if you can see a little bit of everything, but it's still quite a bit of feed. That's how you know, good job, my child. Now, you go ahead, and I use the scooper, but I also, you know, go old school, and I close up whatever the container is, and I still shake it on up. All right, and what I can say in my experience with my chickie ladies, keeping everything, you know, natural and organic, and, you know, growing from love, giving them love. Like I said, they lay consistently, and their eggs, like once you start eating your fresh eggs, man, it's hard to go back to store-bought eggs. The flavor, like, you don't need to add no salt, no pepper, no butter, all of that. Like, it's deliciousness. All right, and now I'm going to show you. We have our first container all done, and you see how it's nice and mixed up. I'll go ahead and give you a close-up. But once again, if you want to know the quote-unquote recipe that I use for this one, I did about 2.5 scoops of the regular chicken feed. I didn't use a scoop. I just like put a little shimmy shake of the corn and mealworm, the oat and mealworm. I probably put maybe enough to fill up 1 scooper of the cracked corn, and then the grits and oats, as I said, I just pour until I hear the ancestors say enough, my child. But it probably does equate to about a scoop or a scoop and a half with the scooper of that stuff. All right. So, and if you are also wondering, because I know this is a question that I had, because my chickie ladies can eat, and I was like, how much do chickens eat? If you have, so I have 4 chickens, so roughly they go through approximately 4.5 pounds of food a day. So each adult chicken can eat about a pound of food a day. But of course, in the winter time, you want to first and foremost give them things to play with. So once again, go on Amazon, get them a little xylophone. My chicks be in their coop making little beats and stuff. You want to get hanging food carrier that has a snack on it, and you want to have them snacking healthily. So as I said, this is romaine lettuce, and then we got an apple in there. Once you see them go ham on them apples, like, it ain't nothing like it, okay? Do all that you can to protect your chickies and make sure that your chickies feel loved, they feel appreciated, because please believe, yes, when you're feeding them right, when you're loving them right, when you're making sure their environment is loving, they will lay, and they will lay consistently, and those eggs will be delicious, child. Don't forget, if you like this video, if you learned something from this video, that like button. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can catch and see what other great things I'm doing out here on the mini farm in Chicago. So here's that close-up that I was talking about. So as you can see, everything is nice and mixed in together. Now, 2 other wintertime tidbits that I will share with you. I know people talk about grinding up the eggshells, but make sure if you are going to do that, that you do not mix the eggshells in the food. That's a no-no. Don't put eggshells in the food. Give that to them completely separate. So then that way the chicks can eat what they need, what their diet or their body requires of them, and then leave them alone, because you don't want to give them too much calcium. And in addition to that, another little sneak peek, if you're living in an area that gets really cold, or in like the Windy City where you know that hawk is out there, consider putting Vaseline on your chicks' crowns, okay, to prevent frostbite. Yes, you can have a heater. Yes, you can block off the wind, but you still want to do everything you possibly can to keep your chickie ladies protected. And as you hear, that's my chickie ladies on a pan in the background. They are emailing and they approve this message. So if you have learned something, if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop in the comments below. Tell me what kind of chicks you got, how many chicks you got, if there's anything that I didn't mention that you feed your chicks. And of course, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so we can stay in contact and you can see all the goodies, the tricks, the hacks, and just the oddities that I'm doing out here on my mini farm. Hope you enjoy. See you next time.